This is the Palo Pinto County Courthouse. Inside is the county clerk's office where you can find old deeds, birth and death certificates, among various other documents. This courthouse was originally built in 1940, but the original courthouse was built way back in 1851. Today I'm looking for the deeds that would trace my family's land to the Mineral Wells Municipal Airport. My great-great-great-grandfather, B.C. Harvey, was the original owner of a lot of land in Mineral Wells, and for years I've been told that he gave the land to the city in order to have the airport built, as he no longer needed the land. Here's a couple of shots of the inside of the courthouse, a flag showing that it was built back in 1857, as well as a quick shot of the counties surrounding. So, into the county's clerk office, I went in to look up a few books. They have a direct book that is the original deed owner, their name as to who they are giving it to, as well as a band of years. I knew it had to be in about the 1930s, as that's when he died and deeds would be executed. They're set up alphabetically by last name, so first I had to go to the H section to find it. There were many different people and many names over the 5-year span, so I had some trouble. But as you can see, there's different sets of where the people are, who they are, and what pages they're going to be on. In the current section, you'll see it's set up by their name, a reason, as well as a couple other details about the date, the booklet, and the page that it's going to end up being on. So, last name, first name, reasoning, date, and so forth. It takes a few minutes to find because they have it on specific areas. I believe the Harvey page was going to end up being on 29. At this point, I was having a little bit of trouble finding it, so I had to ask my mom for some help. But she was able to come in, and we found the Harvey last name. As you can see, coming up, there it was, Harvey, B.C. There were 2 different documents as to who it was going to, where to find it, in the booklet. So, after finding it out, I decided to put up the book and go into the back to actually find the deeds themselves. They have a separate back room where they keep all of the deed booklets, and they're numbered from 100 down, starting at 1, going way up into the hundreds. One of the books, as you can see here, had it in 151, and the other one was, I believe, 149. There are a ton of deeds as it goes back, paper trail, way back into 1857. The only issue with this was they weren't going to allow me to actually video the deeds themselves, and I would have had to buy a copy of it, which I wasn't able to do at the time. But let's go to the land that these deeds were about. This is the house that my family has owned in Mineral Wells for years. This was actually built by B.C. Harvey's son, Preston Harvey, my great-great-grandfather. And my family has been coming here for generations as we used it for Harvey family reunions. As you'll see here in a minute, there's a plaque on the inside that actually says that it was established back in 1884. This land is actually only a small piece of the original 160 acres that B.C. Harvey, had given out to his kids. Each plot of land was split up over many decades by generation to generation, the first being split up into 9 different sections to give out to multiple children, as well as some people that were under Harvey's care. Here's a couple shots of the family, Preston and his wife, and Carrie Lou and their kids that used to live here. But my family's been coming here for a long time. Generations of Harveys and Wells and Singletons and Muncies, all of them have been coming and eating at these tables as the family line traces so far back. This is the main dining room area. Gotta move some of the cobwebs out of the way, so I grabbed my mom's trusty cobweb removing stick, just a regular stick with a nail, and start moving it out of the way. But it was a little bit difficult. The funny thing is, being as this house is very old, everything still works. We keep it up to date. My family actually helps take care of it a lot. So, many different meals have been had around that table. We're moving into an extra side room. It actually has had some damage to it as there's being light let in from the hole in the ceiling. There are a lot of cobwebs in there, so I didn't venture too far. This, moving on, is going to be the back bedroom where Preston and his wife slept back whenever the house was built. And it's a wonder to see that my family has been able to keep up this place so well for so many years, almost 2 centuries. There's actually a well outside, you'll see here in just a second, that is pure well water in mineral wells, the reason why it's known for, which we used to get the bucket, take the bucket all the way down and pull up water. But here's another shot of the land to show this is only, I believe, 1.5 acres. But that's enough about the house. Let's get to the real reason I'm talking about this project. This is the Mineral Wells Municipal Airport. This airport was built back in 1940 and at the very beginning was used as Camp Walters to help train pilots for the military during World War I. This airport was then on just going to be a regular airport that people were able to come in, get fuel, and leave, and has been in operation since the end of its use as Camp Walters. They let me actually go out onto the runway so people were able to see how far it actually goes down on any direction, as well as the windsocks and everything. And show some of the hangars as to where the pilots come in to refuel and get ready to continue their flights. But like I said, this is now just a regular airport and is used for regular day-to-day flying. But that's great with it being an airport and all, but the whole point was to trace it back to my family. Where does that leave us? So, what does it all mean? I was talking about BC Harvey, Mineral Wells, Palo Pinto County, the airport, the house out there that my family owns, all this different stuff, going back 3 grades of grandparents. But I was going to talk about Mineral Wells Municipal Airport and how my family is tied to it. The most important thing that's come out of this is the fact that I was wrong. I was told for many years by my mom and grandma and all my family that BC Harvey owned the original plot of land that the Mineral Wells Municipal Airport is on. But the paper trail that I went through and found said otherwise. Apparently, one of BC Harvey's daughters, Emma Harvey, ended up marrying Charlie A. Wells. Charlie A. Wells was apparently the original owner of the land in which the municipal airport was built on. So, that's what this project is about. I set out to show that this is something that was in my family's history, that BC Harvey used to own the land, gave it to Palo Pinto County or the city of Mineral Wells. They built it. It used to be an Air Force base to help train pilots during World War I and World War II, but I was wrong. And that's probably the most exciting thing about this project, is that I was wrong, and I found out some new family history that I get to contribute to. I was the one that went out and did this research. I got to go find the deeds that BC Harvey gave out 9 different plots to his children and a sibling. Then he gave out land that someone didn't want, and that was recorded as a notice in the booklets. So overall, I was wrong. And that was the most exciting and the best part about all of this. Thank you.